Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I got to tell you guys something. It's scary out here, ladies and gentlemen. My God, Trump deranged syndrome is for real. Brother, I love you, man. I'm gonna send you this video, and I love you. I'm not down talking you. I promise you, man. I sent you the peace sign, and I didn't mean no disrespect by that. I just got off the phone with a dear friend of mine. I was in the military with this guy. Same age, maybe a year or two younger than me. One of the smartest guys I know. Taught me a lot of stuff, man. He's taught me a lot of stuff, man, about how to be a better military man. He was a man's man in the military. He still is. Gun owner, family man, love him to death. But unfortunately, perspective is real, okay? And from his perspective, he's on the good side. He's a Democrat, hardcore Democrat. And after I made my first video today, I thought about him because let me give you some context. This man, what I'm talking about, gun owner, he's got 10 guns, a couple of AR-15s, and I'll get to that in a second. A man's man, you know, but he's a hardcore Democrat. Hardcore. He watches CNN 6 hours a day. Need I say more, guys? And I'm not downing you, brother. I'm not. So after I made that video, I thought about him. I thought about him hard, man. And Donald Trump's 4 years, all he did on Facebook was talk about Donald Trump. He hates Donald Trump. I don't know how he felt about him before he became the president, but this guy is an excellent writer. Nobody writes better than this guy. Articulate, smart as hell. Smart as hell. This is what's scary about this. He would write books and novels about Donald Trump on his Facebook. You know the type of person that they're political pundit from 2016 to 2020. I called him up, and I want to apologize to you, brother, because I was kind of yelling and screaming, and I told him, I go, this is nothing personal. I told him this a couple of times, but I was yelling and screaming. I wasn't making fun of him or talking down. I was just talking about the people in general that don't get it. But again, he watches CNN for 6 hours, and he really believes in his mind that CNN, I gave it say it without laughing, that CNN is non-biased, that they're straight down the middle, he says. Now, again, guys, you know me. I do watch CNN sometimes, and I watch Fox News sometimes, and they're both liars. They're both full of it. I don't like either one of them. One's worse than the other, if you know what I mean. But it's all propaganda to me. I'm an American. I'm a constitutionalist. After I made that video, I decided to give him a call, and we had a conversation. And boy, oh boy, did that conversation went long. It went over an hour, I think. And I told him it'd only be a few minutes. I called a friend of mine on three-way. He didn't really talk a lot because he's a hardcore conservative. I'm not a hardcore conservative. I'm socially liberal and I'm fiscally conservative, right? I don't believe in abortions. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in big government. I don't believe in printing money. He was trying to tell me that inflation is mostly supply and demand, he said. It's a little bit of the money printing, but it's supply and demand. He has 2 children. One is gay and one is, I think, a transgender. I think, don't quote me on that. He feels it's okay for kids to be taught about this stuff in school. He said it's fine. He said kids back in the day were 6 years old that were working as adults, and that's perfectly fine. He said that the conservatives are evil, and what he's saying is good. I said, he said, you sound like you talking about talking Fox News points. I said, no, I'm not talking Fox News. We talked about a lot of stuff. I said, bro, I got to get you on the channel, man. Because my friend that was listening in, the hardcore conservative, he's a black conservative. He was like, yo, is he trolling? I said, no, he is serious. He goes, no, I'm not trolling. He's dead serious. Hardcore. He said he's like 75% a left winger. No, he's not. He's a wokester. And I mean that with all due respect, brother. He is a hardcore wokester. And I was talking to my wife after I got the phone him, and I'm sure he was talking to his significant other, and he was talking about me, and I was talking about him. And as he was sending me a text, I sent him a text. I said something to the effect of, no matter what, I love you, brother, or something like that. But then he sent me a text about basically telling me that inflation is supply and demand. Inflation is not supply and demand. Inflation is the money printing and the money supply being up. Prices do go up and down in supply and demand. Absolutely, it does. That's not inflation. Inflation is when they inflate the currency and they cause the prices go up because there's more currency and their dollar's worth less. And he also thinks that the CPI numbers are correct. Everything that this channel stands for, because we're patriots. We go by the Constitution. Apparently he doesn't. He thinks he's a patriot, he says. He says he's a patriot. He told me, we're talking about, gun control, and he told me that he feels like, and Akadaka Staka, do me a favor. Do me a favor. You and my other boy from Australia. This is what he said. He said gun control should be controlled. People should have their guns taken away if you have an AR-15. He didn't say all guns, but he said basically the reason why, because there's a lot of guns, and that's why there's mass murderers. You know what I mean? And he said in Australia, they took their guns away, and look what happened to them. I want you to comment and tell me about that, right? He also told me that he has 2 AR-15s. He told me we don't need AR-15s. He said that if the regime, the cabal, the Brandon or the government told him we need those AR-15s. He said he'd do it in a heartbeat. He'd give up his AR-15s. He said if it will help save a life, he would do it. Do you plan on killing anybody, brother? You don't. So how are you giving up your AR-15 going to save somebody's life? I asked him that because you're a law-abiding citizen. He said, I think the age limit should be 21. I agree with that. With an AR-15, I think it should be 21. I won't be mad about that if we can have them. They're trying not to take them. But if you're 18, whatever, you're still an adult. Because he did say something about 18 being an adult, but then when it came to a gun, you should be 21. But whatever. Whatever. That's a big gap. But if you can go to the military when you're 18, why you can't have AR-15? But we're grasping at straws here. He also said that the government bans him. He's okay with it. He has 10 guns. He's okay with his AR-15s. But he's a patriot, he said. He also told me CNN is a real news network. They're real, and what I say is conspiracy. You believe in those conspiracies? I said, no, I don't believe in conspiracies. I believe in the truth. Again, I'm not saying he's wrong or he's right. All I'm telling you is it's all about what you listen to. And then he sent me this text after I said that the laughing thing about, he sent me something about Harvard, and I said Harvard is a woke school, and I made some laughing joke. What it is, I was going to read the article, but then he said he sent that long that long text, and I just gave him the peace sign. Don't mean I don't love you, just peace and love, man, peace. I was kind of basically saying peace. I'll talk to you later, so I'm not going to stop talking to him. But if I had to try to spend my time with him and try to unhinge him, he told me straight up, you'll never change my mind. He's like us. You're never going to change our mind. So my point is, we're not going to change people like that's minds. So we have to work on people that don't know any better. And he knows a lot, but he's been brainwashed. And I guess according to him, I've been brainwashed. Let him tell it. But hey, we are on two sides of the coin. And I'm just so disappointed, as he is of me, because I don't think Trump is an evil man. He wasn't an evil man before he became president, but all of a sudden he's an evil man because he's a president. But anyways, because I don't hate Trump, I want my guns. I don't want kids getting taught about the Transformers more than meets the eye. I don't think kids should be taught about gay stuff in school. I think once you hit a certain age, I don't think kids should be able to make a decision about having their what's chopped off and being another person. I don't believe in none of that. I'm a God-fearing man, and that has the Bible. And then I brought up the Constitution. He said, oh, well, those guys wore stockings and wigs, and they were gay too, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. We got a country to save, ladies and gentlemen. We got a country to save. I love you, brother. You know that. I love you. I'm going to send you this video. I don't know if you're going to watch it. Well, my suggestion is get the people on the fence. He wants Trump to go to jail bad. He believes Trump did wrong. He believes Brandon is 10 times better than Trump, policy-wise. But he can't, he's talking about the infrastructure bill. That's great. Inflation is just, inflation is prices going up because of supply and demand. He says we can't do anything about inflation. He said the scamdemic, had more than 600,000 people that got killed. It was in the millions, he thinks, people that got killed. And he also thinks that wearing a mask is 90% preventable. I mean, You name it, he believes in it. So, wow, I've ran across some people, man, but somebody like that who's smart. Now, there's some really dumb people out here. We know that. There's some really stupid people. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, he's not one of them. And we're not going to change those people's minds. I know you guys are going to leave me some comments about that. But again, it's not about Donald Trump or being a Republican or going against the Democrats. It's not about that. It's about being an American and being about the Constitution that our forefathers fought for. You're not a patriot if you go by the Constitution. Then he said, are you one of those people that think you're sovereign, that won't show your ID to somebody if they ask you for it? I said, I don't have to show my ID unless I'm getting arrested. You know what I mean? I don't care what the state or whatever says. Any gun law, again, I'm going to say this again, any gun law that doesn't give me the same weapons as the government, because he's talking about, oh, what about the militia? I'll tell you about the Constitution. You can't tell me about the Constitution. I read it every day. I would debate anybody about the Constitution. You can't tell me about the Constitution. You know you can't tell me about the Constitution. You might have did it 20 years ago, but not now, because you ain't for it. You don't go with it. Any gun law that goes against the Constitution, I'm not with it. I'm not with showing my ID if I don't have to. No cop has rule over me. Nobody does. The government works for me. If you're a public servant, you work for me. You got to show me your credentials as a police officer. I'm not one of those people that tries to give people a hard time. But if I'm not committing a crime, I'm not giving you my ID. So, boy, guys, whew, man. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Give me some stories. I know you guys know that. My brother, again, I'm not gonna say your name. I love you, man. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, because I disagree with you. I told him this 5 times. I don't care if I disagree with you. You're my brother. You know what I mean? But again, that side teaches you if you disagree with you, or if you don't, it's a 2-tier situation. They want us to, Republicans, conservatives, patriots, they want us, freedom fighters, sovereignty people, to, protest violently. The same thing they did with Black Lives Matter. Oh, and also, too, in Antifa did, which they actually did, but they don't say anything about that. It's a peaceful, but whatever protest, whatever they said. Everything's on fire and everything, but if it's their agenda, that's fine. He tried to tell me about racism. Now, by the way, guys, he's a Caucasian man. He was telling me about racism. He kept talking about this and one of my friends, and he did this, and they wrote the N-word here. He's telling me all these stories. He's telling me about racism. A white guy was telling me about white people being racist against black people. Telling me, boy, these white liberals, man. He told me, Jerry, what would happen if we just do this? Well, I'm not making fun of you, brother. What would happen if me and you walked into a store and there was a security guard over there? Who was he going to follow, me or you? I said, neither one of us. He's standing at the door. No, he's follow you. He's telling me what they do. I never had a security guard follow me. You know what I say to a security guard? Great job, man. I feel protected. Thank you for having a gun. Because if you didn't have a gun, they come in and rob us. Because he doesn't want us to have guns, apparently. He don't want anybody to have guns. If the government says, we can't have guns. My gosh. Anyways, I love you guys, and I love you too, brother. I'll keep your head on a swivel. God bless you and your family, and God bless this country, man. Keep on fighting. Hopefully something will wake them up that's not a bad thing. As far as me trying to wake you, not a lost cause in life, bro. I love you. I mean, just lost cause. And you watch CNN for 6 hours, bro, and believe they're good. So we got to wake these people up that don't know any better. All right. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. And I mean that with respect. Peace and love.